All right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, our week in review. What we're going to do right now is put on our intro video. I got to do something better than saying our intro video or something else. I'll figure out something else to say. Hey, that way you can like, share, and comment. This is the CSRN podcast, our week in review. We'll be right back.
I must confess that that dream that I had that day has at many points turned into a nightmare. Now, the other thing that we've got to come to see now that many of us didn't see too well during the last 10 years, that is that racism
not guilty
is still alive in American society and much more widespread.
Broke his neck after Baltimore police.
A handful of protesters, a handful of criminals and thugs who...
Many in moments of anger, many in moments of deep bitterness, engage in riots. And as long as America postpones justice, we stand in the position of having these recurrences of violence and riots over and over again. Social justice and progress are the absolute guarantors of riot prevention.
Mr. Gray's death was a homicide.
The Negro was freed from the bondage of physical slavery.
The athletes marched onto a stage.
But at the same time, the nation refused to give him land to make that freedom meaningful. Freedom without land to cultivate. Freedom and famine at the same time.
And create jobs for our people.
The
Negro is to be free. He must move down into the inner resources of his own soul and sign with a pen and ink of self-assertive manhood his own Emancipation Proclamation. But I want to get the language right tonight. I want to get the language so right that everybody here will cry out, yes, I'm black, I'm proud of it, I'm black and beautiful. Individually, we are poor when you compare us with white society in America. We are poor. Collectively, we are richer than all the nations in the world with the exception of 9. That's power right there if we know how to prove it. We begin the process of building a greater economic base. And at the same time, we are putting pressure where it really hurts. We don't have to argue with anybody. We just need to go around to these stores and to these massive industries in our country. Say, God sent us by here to say to you that you're not treating his children right. We come by here to ask you to make the first item on your agenda fair treatment where God's children are concerned. Now, if you're not prepared to do that, we do have an agenda that we must follow. And our agenda calls for withdrawing economic support from you. We mean business now, and we are determined to gain our rightful place in God's world.
All right, we are back. Hey, good evening, everyone. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review, where we come to you live. We stream live from Mott Branch Library. So shout out to Mott Branch Library that always lays out the red, black, and green carpet for us. Hey, let's get into some intros. I'm Brother Washington Muhammad. I'm one of the co-founders of CSRN and also an active and registered member of the Nation of Islam. We're going to talk about the Final Call newspaper, and we've got a dynamite issue this week. What am I wearing? Today I've got on, I don't have my black hat on today. I've got my brown hat on today. I've got a kind of a V-neck t-shirt, tiger eye. I got my beads, and as always, I'm dedicated to respecting, protecting, and defending all Black bodies, no matter the cost, no matter the gains or loss. This is the home of Black Lives Matter, Injustice or Else. And also, I need to send a shout out to Mike Leonardi and Jabril Bey. It was their idea 11 years ago to have what they call Community Solidarity Day. And what that was, they invited just regular people to speak truth to power. They didn't have to be professionals, pastors, politicians, or preachers, just regular people like myself and Jody. And then later on, they asked me to organize a couple of events for them. We had them on a Tuesday, and here we are 11 years later. It's Tuesday, all right? And we're still making it happen. And we're doing this for the activist community and protest culture, that we always have a seat at the table because it's our table. So let me pass it to Jody. If you could do your intro, what are you wearing? And then we'll get into our mission statement and guiding principles.
What's up, everybody? Jody J. Summers, child of the system, better known as Spoken Truth. Here again on this awesome Tuesday. I know we've been away for a couple of weeks. We had some city business to do, elections, all that good stuff.
That's right.
Wonderful to see you. Well, I guess technically not see their awesome faces, but you know, if they comment and stuff like that, we give them shout outs and stuff like that. But it's just wonderful to be back in the studio to talk to you, tell the awesome things that's been going on in the community.
Yeah.
Libraries had a lot of stuff. We've had a lot of book signings and events in the community, despite the weather and stuff like that. So just kind of catching back up with everybody. We want to thank you again, as always, for joining us, because you could be any place in the world watching anybody's podcast, but you chose to watch us, even if it's at a later date and time, because we know during this time, you know, you got stuff to do, sports, kids, all the stuff, getting off of work. And we don't want you distracted by looking at your phone, but we do appreciate a reshare, a like, a comment. Heck, tell us a subject you may want us to talk about, or even a guest that you may want to come on live in studio or virtually. Love that. It saves us a lot of time in between of us doing our regular daily jobs, me writing books, doing all the stuff, him taking care of people and helping them getting back into the system to be productive people in society. So with all that said, after 11 years almost.
That's right.
That's
right. We're making it happen, man.
In November, it'll be 11 years.
That's right.
Doing this on one ground or another with the basis behind it. Is a lot of activists ask me is when I come up with, well, where did you start? Start the same place I'm going in, with the color of my skin and everything like that. But
that's
we do branch out to other stuff. We do care about Palestine. We do care about people that have injustice committed against them, whether it be within social areas, urban development and stuff like that. We fight for a lot of things, even if we are not on the front lines, just like we have people behind our lines.
That's right.
Help us out. We're there too in many, many capacities. So how do you get there? How do you meet all of these people and do all of these things and find time for yourself and self-care? You got to have a good foundation and walls, which is our mission statement.
And the guiding principles that help keep it all together.
Exactly. And that's something that if you are joining an organization or starting something, is good to have, because there will be a lot of people, the more popular or the more funding or the more things you do, want to come in and distract that or figure out how to take your dollars from you and give it to somebody else. We got some awesome guests coming in. One is coming in right now that will be off camera. You might see them on camera too. But let's get into our mission statement so you guys know why we are here. He's looking away. Throw a pencil at
it's
him.
all good.
But that's okay. He got sunglasses on the inside. You'll see him when he comes in. But we are the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, formed on November 25th, 2014, the day after it was announced that the killer, the Ferguson, Missouri police officer of Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We bring awareness to the injustices experienced by Black men, women, and children who are disproportionately murdered, attacked, provoked, and harassed by law enforcement. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often, yes, most often, police brutality goes without consequence and accountability. We utilize the tactics of protest, civil disobedience, event disruption, and citizen advocacy to give voice, yes, voice to those who are otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive, community-based events that help foster self-development, and we discuss measures to hold local leadership accountable, yes, accountable to their sworn duties, be they politician, clergy, educators, law enforcement, etc., etc. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally, yes, equally to all, regardless of class, creed, or color. For all lives to matter, Black lives, yes, Black lives must matter. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
All right, and let's get into our guiding principles. And one of the things about this type of grassroots movement, it's really not an organization because we don't have a president or anything. We just show up and make it happen.
Yep.
How do you get all these personalities together without imploding? And I think that's one of the oft-repeated things that happen in our businesses, our groups. You got to be able to hold it together. And these are our CSRN guiding principles. All Black lives matter, queer Black lives, trans Black lives, formerly and presently incarcerated Black lives, poor working class Black lives, wealthy Black lives, differently able Black lives, Black men and women lives, immigrant Black lives, Black elderly and children lives. All Black lives matter and are the creators of this space. We throw no one under the bus. We rise together. Ashe.
Ashe.
And that means one who changes a thing or one who makes a thing happen. Thriving instead of surviving. Our vision is based on the world we want, not the one we're currently in. We seek to transform, not simply react. We want our people to thrive, not just exist, think beyond the possible. Ashe.
Ashe.
Experimentation and innovation must be built into our work. Embrace the best tools, practices, and tactics, and leave those behind that no longer serve us. Ashe.
Ashe.
Evaluation and assessment must be built into our culture. Critical reflection must be a part of all of our work. We learn from our mistakes and our victories. Ashe.
Ashe.
Principal struggle can exist in a positive environment. We must be honest with one another by embracing direct, loving communication. Ashe.
Ashe.
Love. Self-love is practiced in every element of all we do. Love and self-love must be a driver of our work and an indicator of our success. Without this principle and without healing, we will harm each other and undermine our movement. Ashe.
Ashe.
360-degree vision. We honor past struggles and wisdom from elders. The work we do today builds the foundations of movements of tomorrow. We consider our mark on future generations. Ashe.
Ashe.
Self-care means we build resilient spaces by budgeting time, energy, and resources for healing. Self-care is a regular, consistent, intentional, and essential practice. Ashe.
Ashe.
The most directly affected people are experts at their own lives and should be in leadership at the center of our movement and telling their stories directly. Ashe.
Ashe.
Training and leadership development should be fundamental. Our movement must constantly grow and leadership must constantly multiply. Ashe.
Ashe.
And Jody, I think that when we talk about our guiding principles, our mission statement, I think those may be the two things that have allowed us to do the work that we do with the people that we do it with, because we cover a vast majority of issues, which means that the same people that we're going to be organizing for issue 2 are the different from last week when we had the Nakba walk with the Palestinian students, with the Students for Palestine,
yep,
which are going to be different from the groups that were downtown a few weeks ago advocating for jobs with justice. So, you know, just being able to have some principles that we don't have to do one thing. We can advocate wherever we feel injustice is. And if we have the manpower and sister power to make it happen, we do. Hey, listen, Jody, I really need to take a break because we're going to come back with a special guest. Not a special guest, it's really like family. Really family. Stop calling me special guest. Make me feel like he owed me $20. What I said, special guest. Special. Hey, no, we're not going to say that because you're going to get us. We just, 10 minutes into the show, we're going to get canceled.
Grassroots can be considered special guest.
Okay. Now, all right, now you're talking. Now you're talking that talk now because Lord knows I know I am. All right, hey, look, let's take a short break. We'll be back. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review.
Canal.
En esta hermosísima ciudad de Orlando.
I'm here in Barranquilla, Colombia, and in sunny Miami. Daytona Beach, mis amigos, that's where we're at today.
Desde la ciudad de Cartagena, Colombia.
We are in Orlando right now, here in Florida.
I'm Helene Sheets, Director of Marketing and Communications at beautiful Lourdes University, and we've been a proud sponsor and supporter of Voces Latinas TV for over a decade. It has been a fantastic partnership. It's been our doorway into the Latino community. We've met so many incredible people, created so many partnerships. Our students absolutely love the connections we've made through Voces Latinas TV, and we're looking forward to at least another decade, 2 decades.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. We're streaming live from Mott Brent's library. So if you're watching this, put something in the chat. Let us know that you're watching. Let us know that you're listening and also engaging. Every time we have someone on the show, if it's a family member or first time, we always start with asking them who they are, what they're wearing, and what are we talking about today. So who are you? What are you wearing? And what are we talking about today?
So my name is Anton Park Sr., definitely family. I'm wearing my Tyro coat. That's one of the reentry programs, which is very relevant for today. Building Blocks Environmental Health
Okay.
Partners T-shirt, Building Blocks chain, one of these energy necklaces Jody be putting together.
Oh yeah.
And some white jeans and some brown boots. I'm on some grassroots boot stomping today.
All right.
I'm dressed for the
Okay, that's what's up. Hey, listen, every time we come together, there's always if I'm doing 2 things, you're doing 7, all right, plus, all right. So I know you got a list of things that you're involved in right now. What do you want to talk about first that's happening?
I guess so. I want to talk about issue 2, and then we'll segue into
the
other things. I want to start with, one of the main reasons me and a lot of people that you guys know are community advocates are nonpartisan, because it's about the solution. I'm reaching out to most of you to get in touch with Representative Josh Williams. He's a Republican, and he's a brother like us. So I want to kill the partisanship and say what's really going on. This is not about Democrat or Republican. It's about $1 billion equity in our community, and that's Black, brown, a Caucasian in our community that will be able to go to the grows, learn how to grow the proper way, get rid of the black market cannabis, make hundreds of jobs just in one side of a city community, where we can bring equity to our community to rebuild, to rebrand, get rid of recidivism. Me and my partner, Don Lofton, has a opportunity to open 10 to 20 dispensaries, grows, and production, which will help with research, with cancer, child autism, ADHD, many things that we can help with the research with, as long as we can come together as a community, meet with Josh and other representatives that control this legislation and the narrative, and give educated information, not rhetoric, not partisan talk of Democratic and Republican, but what the issue and what the solution is. And I can guarantee, I work with this brother. He is very reasonable. He cares about our community.
Yeah, and kind of the dovetail on that, this Saturday, May 17th, at the Kent Branch Library, we're holding an information session, or issue 2 protections event. You know, last month, the Lucas County Action Team hosted a Know Your Rights with recreational cannabis. And a lot of people came out. They wanted to ask the questions, okay, well, why haven't we gotten anything started? Why isn't there anything in our community? Why is the black market still the top market? Well, Saturday at 10 a.m. from 10 to 12, join us. All right. And we're going to put a call into Josh too.
Yeah.
He had asked me a few months ago, and he wanted to know whenever we were having something to invite him, that he will come out and speak on the issue. And I think this is an issue that I'd like Representative Williams to come out and talk about.
Yes, this is the cure. So I don't want to make any promises, but I can tell you, if you do your research, cannabis research and treatments have helped with opioid addiction, some mental health, which is due to sound or visual stimulants that put you in a seizure. There is a lot that can come from us locating those 200 and then 300 licenses to do production, grow, and dispensing. So I think you guys should come to the Kent Branch Library. Just listen to the discussion, ask any questions, but also do some, research at home and see how this can empower the community and you personally.
All right. This is a kind of a personal question. How is it that you can show up for this event? You had the Survivor Series. You've got some other things going on. I've seen you travel with Jody to Washington, D.C. How is it that you can do different type of stuff and still remain true to yourself?
Well, I had an epidural and a spine surgery like 10 days ago. But the thing is that you just gotta reprogram yourself. You gotta you know, whatever your higher power is, whatever your resource and your mentorship group, whatever your partnership or friend base is, structure that to be what you know your calling is.
Yeah,
I heard
man.
this as a kid: if you do what you love to do, you would never work.
Never.
I know my calling, so it looks
Never.
like I'm
Yeah.
in a lot of positions and spaces, but they're all really wrap around the same thing to bring our community out of a poverty mindset, out of trauma. So now the word recover means, you know, has one meaning to me. That means to put a blanket or something over. So I want to cure and be the antidote, but cure is a copyrighted word by medical.
True. I got you.
You know, so definitely it's one space, but I just the time makes itself when it's what you're supposed to do.
All right. Recently there was an event regarding the Survivor Series. I think we had it on the was it on like the north side at the Friendly Center.
Yes.
All right. Man, what is it that keeps you going to put together events like that? And what are some of the things that you get out of showing people that you care?
Well, so I notice we have two type of people when it comes to some of the issues we face. There's people who are good at discussing the issues, and then there are people who are good at finding solutions. So just by happenstance with my mom, my mentorship.
Hold on, I need to write that down. Those two types of people, I've been getting them mixed up. All right.
But
all right,
the solution,
that's what's up, man.
Because
all right.
you have people with powerful voices who can bring light to an issue.
Yeah,
but then
man.
Once that fire is lit and 2 weeks later you don't hear anything else because the solution wasn't reached, so people lose interest. And I like to, when that fire is going, be, hey, we have a solution right here.
Oh man, yeah, okay, all right. Never heard that before.
At the Friendly Center a couple of weeks ago, of course, we've had a lot of traumatic incidences, commodity. Ocean, and then we could keep going back, shootings, murders.
Right.
But we have crime survivors for safety and justice. Jody and I went to Washington. Omari Hardrick and Monica gave us some awards and thank yous for
that's what's up,
100 laws changed for victims, crime survivors, and including the cannabis. We want to show people the solution. So like with this right here, Crime Survivors for Safety and Justice QR registration link. And then we have the victims compensation issue that we're working on now. So we changed legislation where felonies don't matter no more.
Right.
You could not break your lease even if you were a rape victim or a shooting happened at your home.
Right.
Now the legislation says you can break a lease and change that. So we have cards all over the city with the scan code, with the questionnaire. What do you know about victims compensation and what can we help you with? And we will help you fill it out. And on the other side of the card, we have the actual application with Dave Yoist's office to fill out for victims compensation. We can help you. The Trauma Recovery Center can help you, or the prosecutor's office.
All right. Now, family, if you're wondering why we haven't showed any graphics, of that, hey, I'm a little bit slow today, but you're on social media, right?
Yes.
So if you just if you're on Facebook, Anton Parks Sr.
Yep.
All right. His name will show up. Friend him. Everything that he's talking about, it's a great chance it's going to be on his page. And if it's on his page, Jody, we need to go on his page and steal his stuff and put it on our page so that we will look like, we're in the know, which we are.
And they are. They're involved. Everywhere I'm at, Jody and Brother Muhammad is there. He's being very modest. Every fight that I'm in, they definitely are swinging right with us. So,
all right. So, I love to hear people's origin story. What happened that made you care?
Well, they say raise a child up. So my mom and my grandma and them, they started off right, and then programming in the community. What was popular, what was convenient, what was easy. That usually is the programming that
yeah, that's right.
But once I did get an opportunity to make some changes, my true intelligence, my true intent was able to shine. We have to bring that out of people. Instead of judging them, I could have been judged all the way to the graveyard or the federal penitentiary. Instead, people invested in showing that me, Willie Knighton, Daniel Williams, Angelita Carter.
Those some solid people, bro.
Yeah,
All right,
they
all
could
right,
be
yeah.
something better than what the programming said. And now that we've achieved things, we have behavioral health partners, we have workforce development partners, trauma recovery, harm reduction, which is the opioid epidemic.
Yeah.
You name it. We have partners with solutions. We can't promise no magic pill or magic beans to fix every problem.
That's right.
But we have partners with pathways to something that will be better than what you have now.
All right. So with all of this, what do you do at the end of the day to stay balanced? I think I scroll. I do what my son taught me about death scrolling. All right, just scroll. Is it doom scrolling? All right, see, all right, it's doom scrolling. All right, and when I get home, Yvette, if you ever see me sitting in a car, yep, I'm doom scrolling. Kind of just get. I always say,
is that what people be doing for that 15, 20 minutes?
Yeah. All right, 20. Okay, good. Yvette Anti said 20 minutes. All right, I just take 5. I just want to look at the whole internet. All right, and then once I look at the whole internet and I realize I know everything that I need to know, now I could go on to my job. All right. Now, if my boss is watching this, I'm researching. I'm not doom scrolling at work. I'm researching for better ways to get my job done. But what about you? What is it that you do to bring it in and to be balanced for the next day?
So I write a lot of poetry and turn it into songs. I help other people with plans, nonprofit, just the stuff that I do. But music is my greatest go-to. When G21 on Pandora, YouTube, you can research Anxiety and Get It Messy is 2 of the last songs that I made. But I have a lot of music online, and then we do video editing with Bird Vision Media. That's one of the programs we will be offering at Empowerment for Excellence and a couple other spaces in Toledo. 2 Factor Media, where we'll be teaching free media grant funded classes to teach you how to make professional videos that you will see if you go to my Facebook. Things that you've not seen with AI in creation, but we're offering those classes to the community. So I love art. Go listen to Jody and them do poetry. I go see some of the local bands. And then I, again, help with the advocacy and some of the laws and policies we are going to continue to write to make things better for our community.
All right. Now, I've got one other thing to ask you. Then we're going to take a short break. And we're going to come back with one of your community collaborators.
Our state manager. She's the manager of Phoenix, of Ohio and Michigan. She is a very, very dope trauma recovery expert, and she's done a lot of policy in this work. So we'll let her speak. But I love the network of Crime Survivors for Safety and Justice and Alliance for Safety and Justice.
All right, now I'm kind of intimidated. I thought we'd just get an old girl from around the corner. All right, okay, all right. Anton, can you give us one of the things that we love to do at CSRN is we embrace gratitude. All right, that keeps us humble and able to bounce back the very next day. If you could list 3 things that you're grateful for, what would your 3 things be?
I was paralyzed in 2010, so I'm grateful for Pastor Willie Grace. He is the first person who made me realize the impact that I could have in Toledo, Ohio. And then I would have to be thankful for all the partners and fiscal sponsors and the work that we're doing, because we could not do it without Ashley Wright, Neighborhood Health, Crime Survivors for Safety and Justice, people like Jody and Rochelle Morrisall. And then the third thing, I'm grateful for life, for being able to breathe and walk. I've been paralyzed. I've been shot. I've been, through some things in this life, through that true valley of the shadow of death. And I'm able to get up and smile and again, come in, and commune with people like yourself and the sister from Arizona and Jody. So I think those are some of the 3 tops for today, because it changes daily. I got a lot of stuff to be grateful for.
All right, that's beautiful. Hey, listen, we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back. This is the CSRN podcast, our week in review. Peace.
Pathway Incorporated Brothers United program believes that children are important. Every day we support and advocate for fathers, because when children have involved fathers, the whole community thrives. The fathers that come into the Brothers United program are mostly young fathers who are primarily gang members or drug dealers, or those involved in lots of trauma from the time when they were youth until now. The program has fatherhood classes, which teach you about your role as a father, the importance of being a father, healthy relationships, how to co-parent and work better together with your co-parent, and then economic stability, how to get a job, how to keep a job. It is so important for fathers to learn to take care of their children holistically, not just emotionally, not just physically, but financially as well, because children need a holistic approach.
I really just needed help with really being a better father and looking for a job to be able to support my kids.
Some of the problems I was facing when I joined Brothers United was communication with my children. Had some time apart from each other for a while, so they gave me the tools to really get back in communication with them.
Fathers will come into our program with their heads down. 2 weeks later, their heads are up. 3 weeks later, they're laughing and talking. 4 weeks later, they're building a bond. And by the time we get to 8 weeks, they're saying, hey, we want to stay here. What can we do to stay connected?
It gave me a better perspective on how to look at things from other people's point of view. You know, sometimes us as men, we get caught up in being prideful and arrogant, thinking we don't need the help. We do. And we just have to put our pride, selfishness, and arrogance to the side. And when the help is there, take it.
Hope plays the most important role in everything that we do, because we have to have hope. We have to remember that fathers are important, and we have to not only say it, but we have to live it, we have to breathe it, we have to do it, we have to convey it to everyone.
Let's get a BU Nation on 3, fellas. 1, 2, 3, BU Nation!
The dads give us hope. The dads supply for us on the days when it gets hard. On the days when we've seen more violence than we ever want to see. On the days when we've lost some dads to jail or to murder, they give us hope. And so the hope that lives can change, if you invest in them, if you believe in them, then lives can change.
Brothers United changed my life, let's say, because of where I come from, what I've been through. I learned to understand it is help out there. Don't be scared to ask for it. If you don't reach, you can't grab. That's it.
They made me more employable, more desirable by employers, which in turn helped me provide for my family and provide for my children and my grandchild. So it makes me a better man, a better father, and a better example.
It showed me like how to be better to my kids, so I went and got custody of my son. My son been with me for a couple months now. So they showed me how to be a better parent all around, just a better man, period.
Initially, I didn't know that it could change men's lives. I didn't know that fathers could change. But it's amazing to me when fathers come back a year later, 2 years later, and tell us thank you. Or they'll make a Facebook post and say, look at what I'm doing now. It's amazing to me about the level of work that we've been able to do and the lives that we've changed in just a short period of time. And the fathers who come back and say, thank you, I needed you, and you were there.
Shout out to Brothers United, man. If you can ride a bike without falling, then you're good to go.
Bike Rides Matter, it's a community bike group. We get together for fun, fitness, and fellowship. We ride weekly. Right now we got a Tuesday ride where we ride on the UT Trail. We do Saturday right here at Uptown Green. That's our glow roll Saturday night. It was something I was already doing with my daughter, just riding bikes, and we just decided it would be cool to add the community because we were just finding ways to make fun given the situation. Being that everything was closed down and options were limited, bike riding is one of those things you can do without any restrictions.
You get to make new friends and just like interact with people, especially during COVID. You still like have your mask on and stuff, but it's still good to like see people.
It's a cool way to stay fit. We talk while we ride, and we got music while we riding. I've met quite a few new friends and new people. I made some real cool connections throughout the city. Take advantage of the time you have. Take advantage of this pandemic. I know it's a lot of restrictions, but you can be creative and find new ways to have fun, one of which is this right here.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, our week in review. Hey, big shout out to my brother Anton Part Senior for gracing the podcast again. And shout out Jody, you making stuff happen. I thought I was him, though. I'm him Junior now. All right. Hey, family, whenever we have a special guest or family on our podcast, we always ask who you are. What are you wearing and what are we talking about? So I've got someone I've never met before. All right. And that's good. That's a good thing. So who are you? What are you wearing? And what are we talking about today?
Well, I'm Selena Meadows. I am, I guess you say various things, including a national manager for Crime Survivors for Safety and Justice, which is a flagship of Alliance for Safety and Justice.
All right, and your gear for the people that are listening and that they're not watching, what are you wearing?
All black with a white blazer.
All right, so off the top, what made you get involved? What is it that made you care about this?
Well, I would say there's a multitude of things. I would say my roots kind of started in the space of just my community. I was born and raised South Phoenix, Arizona. That said, that area that we live in, we're pretty high crime area.
Yeah.
I have family on both sides of crime. So it's pretty intense. So that said, my dad was also a mental health counselor. And so I definitely had a very trauma-informed upbringing before it's popular. He was a little bit like the neighborhood dad.
Right.
And that kind of put me into my work starting at 14, my first job ever, Greater Phoenix Urban League as a youth organizer. Later on, after life just kind of had its way with me.
Yeah, and it does. Life
yeah.
is life, and that's what Jody
Right.
says. All right.
Yeah, so I circled back into the community, looking more into the trauma recovery spaces after my children and I escaped some pretty horrific domestic violence. That put me into independent work. I started initially in military legislation, but that was a segue into some civilian legislation, just navigating some of the systems and realizing that it's not only hurdles, but opportunities that I had that I wanted to make certain that I could expand on and help others.
All right. So in the work that you do, man, what is it that's so rewarding about what you do? Because it's making a difference. For instance, the movement work that we do, I think a lot of people primarily know us from being a part of the protest and awareness community. But that's not the only thing that needs to be done. All right. There's other things. So some of the things that's rewarding about the work that you do, what would some of those things be?
For me, I would say a lot of the rewarding things are just the different spaces, we're able to help shift the mindset in the way that I always tell my children, the only thing that can stand stronger than the truth is a narrative. And when we're
Oh.
telling our lived experiences, not only do it help fill those gaps in the system, but it allows us to have the power of both in one space.
All right. So you say you have children. Man, what do they think about mom and the work that you're doing?
Honestly, my children, they don't really indulge in my work as much as I would like them to. My oldest is slowly starting to tiptoe into it. Right now, it's just I'm mom and teacher. I homeschool, so the less time they want to spend with me, sometimes the better. But they have started dabbing in some of the community works themselves.
All right. What I want to do, I want to put up the website. Let me put the website up here. I think it is Alliance for Safety and Justice.
Correct.
And it's, it starts out with the we believe in a just, safe future.
Yes.
And it says, hey, I'm reading it also. Obviously, I've already clocked in. All right, it says the Alliance for Safety and Justice is building a future in which all communities are just, safe. We're a multi-state advocacy organization that combines smart policy reform with organizing. Now, that's one of the things that I think a lot of us in the protest awareness community, I don't want to say that we may be lacking, but the policy reform. Why is policy reform so important to you?
For myself, it has allowed me to really understand how it can make a impact with many in one stroke. So it's very important that we all have multitude of different avenues, but just when it comes to the policy part, it allows us to be able, since we're all navigating these systems together, it allows us to be able to make certain that we have a system that works with us instead of just putting us into a space that we are.
Right. All right. So for a person like me that have never heard of this, sometimes I would think, well, I don't think that works because it seems like you guys are doing too much writing instead of being out in the streets and, and getting it in the trenches. So how do you bring people to the reality that, man, policy is important. Protesting is important too, because I'm there, all right? But how do you bring people into the understanding of how important this is?
Yes, and I do feel like you said, like everyone has their place in this movement, the
Yeah.
way that we continue that forward progression. But and I always spoke of before, like when saying our lived experiences help fill those gaps, fill a lot of gaps. Until our voices are in these spaces, they're going to continue to be there.
All right, so I'm on the website. It's talking about the flagship programs, and I'm gonna just make it kind of big so I could see it. One of them that I'm looking at are the Californians for Safety and Justice. I see the Crime Survivors for Safety and Justice. Time done. I don't know what that means, so I'm going to circle back and ask about that, because the other ones, then, time I could understand. All right. And the last was the Alliance for Safety and Justice Advocacy. So I want to circle back to, well, what did I do? I want to circle back to the time done. And what is time done? And why is that so important?
Yeah, so I guess we say Time Done is our sister organization, which is also a flagship of the Alliance for Safety and Justice. It's the division of the organization that focuses on the voices of the previous incarcerated. So,
oh, wow.
As an umbrella of the Alliance for Safety and Justice.
That's why it's time done.
Yes.
All right. Nobody told me that. All right. Nobody told me that. I didn't know what time done. And that's awesome. I believe that a lot of us that are returned citizens, former confined citizens like myself, man, most of us just get out and we're like, okay, I'm going to just go do what I did before I got here. But I'm so far behind because if a person's been incarcerated for years, when you get back out, the game's changed. The leaders have changed. And if I was in some type of leadership position, I'm at the back of the line. So I'm the first to go back. All right. So how does Time Done educate and improve the chances, of those who were formerly incarcerated not to fall victim to recidivism?
Well, I guess I would say just from the standpoint of it being our sister organization,
Yeah.
opposed to really being ingrained working in that division,
Okay.
working on side by side. So they do similar work in the way that, so in the division I work, I am the manager of crime survivors, and we focus on the crime survivors' voice and how that it meshes into the systems. We do that simultaneously with Time Done in a way that we take a full scope view at how it reduces recidivism, also keeping the voices of all those who are affected on both sides in a way that it is the evidence-based research, it is the actual experiences of those individuals impacted, be able to be at the decision-making table. And that way we are able to ensure that we are taking all the correct steps to make sure that recidivism doesn't happen, and that we are given proper pathways to be able to make healthier and safer communities.
All right, now I'm just thinking here. I think this may be one of the first times that I've seen crime survivors in something like Time Done in the same space.
Yeah.
Because normally the crime survivors are separated from some of us that have made mistakes, know.
And you would see that, and honestly, the umbrella,
Wow.
the mother
Wow.
company,
I've never seen that before.
looked at that, and
I've never seen that before.
Yeah, reshaping the way public safety looks. So,
I've never seen that before. I've always thought that they were opposites. I would think until this time, I never looked at them. Hey, look, if I'm coming out, I need to be a better citizen too.
Correct.
I don't want to be another perpetrator.
Correct.
I don't want to be another predator. I don't want to be someone that hurts people, because people are surviving from crime. They're surviving from injustice, and I don't want to contribute again.
Correct.
Wow. Okay. All right. Next to last question. Have you ever seen interaction between the two?
Yes, all the time. Not well, I can speak from for like I guess say the Arizona space.
Right.
So we often ensure, and just even I guess you say company wide, we ensure that we have a full scope look of what's actually going on in a way that it's not just 50% of the solution.
Wow.
So we do connect often just within our work with one another, within being in the umbrella of the mother company, to ensure that we are sharing dialogue and understanding of how those next steps look, whether it's on the crime survivor and time done side. So
Okay. So next to last question. What are you doing in Toledo? All right. What are you doing in Toledo? And can we lock that door? All right. So what are you doing in Toledo?
Yes. So Toledo, one, I'm just visiting to meet some of our chapter members.
Okay.
I am now the statewide supporting manager for
Oh,
Ohio,
wow.
Michigan,
Okay.
and Arizona. So just always try to make my rounds and do what I can to support our feet,
Oh, that's-
our boots on the ground, a few of our folks that's out there doing the work all the time.
Wow. I want to thank you for even coming here, man. Not that we don't love Anton, but man, okay. All right. So in the work that you do, self-care is important to us. In the work that we do is very trauma centered, because we're thinking about, we wake up thinking about, no, we don't wake up thinking about what's wrong, but we confront stuff. All right. And in confronting some of those things, it gets difficult. All right. So self-care is important in order for us to come back the next day or the next week and do something else. What is it that you do regarding self-care? How do you keep it balanced?
For me, like I said, but my dad not only was the roots of that trauma therapy kind of a part, but also music and art. I do freelance art and music. So that said, that's always been my center, and meditation.
All right. So when you say freelance art, what type of art?
Well, I do all styles, but I work in 3 different mediums: pencil, paint, and clay.
Music. What is it that you do?
So I just love music, but I do sometimes I'll sing with my dad, who's plays guitar and piano, and here and there I'll still play the flute.
Okay. Any poetry you ever wrote before?
Not in a long time, but I have written poetry.
Okay. All right. Anything you got ready for us? Okay. All right. You know, I was trying. I was trying.
I'm more of a visual artist.
Okay. I was trying. All right. I was shooting my shot with the art. All right. All right. Make sure y'all edit that part out. All right. So as we close out, man, this is dynamite that you're here today, and we are tremendously grateful for you being here. Sometimes we get pigeonholed into being those are angry guys showing up. You know what they're going to talk about. Well, yeah, you do, and we are. But having you here really elevates the work that we do. It lets the people know that watch us that there are some other things that we need to consider. All right. So as CSRN, yes, we consider time done an important part of our liberation. We consider crime survivors for safety and justice an important part of our liberation. It's going to take more than picket signs and bullhorns, all right, to liberate us. And it's beautiful that we have you here in person, and we have Anton here in person that's actually doing the work, not what I'm finna do. All right. You're doing it. So lastly, 3 things that you're grateful for. What would those things be?
I would say, just top of my head, as a mother, I'm very grateful for my children. It was just a lot of journey even to tell them here. My life, there's been a couple instances that I'm grateful to be here. And 3, I would say that I'm very grateful that I feel a shift in the atmosphere. I do feel like just community overall. I've been very delighted to see that we're coming together. We got this. So.
Yeah, and I love that because the more we come together, the less we're dependent on the people that have never failed to disappoint us. All right. So I love that. Hey, anything else before we take a short break and come back with Jody? Jody's going to give us our updates and go over some of the things that we've done in the community and some of the things that we've got coming up. Anything that you think we missed?
Guess to say if anyone's interested in joining CSSJ, they can go to cssj.org and there'll be a drop-down link, or if you're interested in timedone.org. And yes, we have a multitude of different things, and how I always say capacity-based participation.
Right. And if you missed what she said because we didn't type it out, we're going to share the website to our page. So just if you love CSRN, and I know at least 3 of you out there do, right, if you love what we do, go to our Facebook page. You'll see the Alliance for Safety and Justice on our page. Click it, learn more, get some of these resources, and then go to Anton Park Senior's page because he's actually here doing the work. Sis, I want to thank you for joining us today. And when you come back to Toledo, do you mind, when you come back, you mind visiting us again and letting us know what's up?
Definitely. I appreciate it. I'm honored.
All right. Beautiful. Family, this is the CSRN podcast, our week in review. We'll be right back.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
All right, we are back. Man, I think sometimes we really need to play one of those reels of what are we doing when we're getting ready. All right, we're getting ready. Hey, family, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, our week in review. And we're in the 7 o'clock hour. Normally, I'm probably ready to wrap up, but we got some sub dates.
And we had 2 guests today, so that makes sense.
Yeah, that's dynamite. Look, we weren't on last week because of the primary, and both of us are really involved in making sure that if you want to be a part of the process and if you want to come out and vote, that there's no voter interference. You have a safe space to vote, regardless of how you vote.
I'm an official. He's a VLM.
Okay, you don't just put all my stuff out there now. All right, anyway. So we weren't on in yesterday, but I do want to recap a couple of people that are on the bubble that we need to watch.
Yep, I believe the Metro Parks went, and I think we're gonna have one of the person that did go ahead for mayor as a guest, right?
Yeah, Robert Torres. We'll have Robert Torres here. I think that Harold Harris.
Yep.
Stein guy. I like to talk to him and see if we get Wade too. We get one, get them all.
Yeah.
So Rob Pastor is on the is running for city council at large. So I really want you to take a look at him. He was about that life even before he was about this life. So I really appreciate him. We have our sister Cassandra McPherson. She came. Cassandra, did I say Cassandra? Cassandra. Hey, Cassandra, you know, I'm not the first person that messed up your name, but we love you in your pink, and we want everybody to really consider making sure that we keep Sister McPherson on. And next is our brother Blair Johnson. All right, what was he? Post person turned handyman turned candidate. Right. So
he's got his tomorrow.
Yeah, his is tomorrow, May 14th. And where is that at?
It's at the Peacock.
Oh, at the Peacock. Okay. All right. They won't have to card me to get in there, will they?
And then a couple of weeks ago, we had Brittany Jones do her fundraiser over at the Truth Art Gallery.
Right. So all of these candidates, we want you to consider taking a look at, see what they're about. We had Brittany on. I think we had Rob on when he was Just
we had Rob on to talk to him because he
Yeah,
does
I
all the
think we-
housing and stuff. I know he
Okay.
has an office in the government building. Along with that is the state rep for with the Realist Association and everything.
Right. Next up is May 25th. This is going to be at the Maumee Theater. It's called No Other Land. This is highlighting the disaster in Palestine right now. And this short film, I think it won an Academy Award for being one of the top films that people were documentaries that you need to see. And we've been partnering with the Media Depression Collaborative with the Palestinian Film Festival. We want you to go out. I think it's only $10 a ticket. All right. If you don't have $10, Jody got you. All right. So, and also we were consider streaming from there. I've got to work that all out. I don't know if we are or not, but we really wanted to consider showing solidarity with our brothers and sisters in Palestine, and we want you to be there for that. Here's my next to last thing. Family, it's that time again. Growing your own food is like printing your own money. And Eden Urban Garden, we're having our opening this Saturday, May 18th, 4 p.m., 300 block of Boston Place. We're going to have things for the young people.
I'll be there doing art
expression
and stuff.
Right. So it's always a good look to and if you don't know what a garden is, it's the only one with the defund the police and the Black Lives Matter signs out. All right. So you'll know us. All right. You'll know us when you pull up. But and shout out to Sister Yvette Muhammad as the master gardener and the community garden coordinator to put all that together. What else I got? Got some history in the making. This week, we will be out on the corners with this issue of the Final Call newspaper celebrating 92 years. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, still the personification of love, family. You and I both know whenever we have a leader of significance, there's only a few things that happen to them. They're assassinated, their character is assassinated, or they get a news show or a television show, or they just die of a broken heart. Well, family, that's not happening. And this is one of the first times that we as a people have seen our leader from 30 years old, 40, 50, 60, never backing down, never selling out, always putting the pedal to the metal, always defending our people, no matter whom or what. This Minister Farrakhan is 92 years old. We have recently seen him at Savior's Day in February, and strong, alert. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. So people say, well, when is he going to retire? Well, you don't retire. Can you imagine Jody unjodying yourself? That ain't happening. All right. It's not happening with me either. So make sure you see the brothers on the corners with the Final Call newspaper. Get this issue of the Final Call. And next to last, really don't want to say last, but it is. Also, what are we doing in the city of Toledo? Well, the Nation of Islam, we're having our Love You One Another as I Love You event. This is going to be at the Frederick Douglass Community Center, May 31st from 12 until we finish. We're going to talk about disaster preparedness, healthy lifestyle, and self-defense. I think those are three of the things that the Nation of Islam is known for. Self-defense. We don't carry guns, but we ain't never lost nobody, all right? And nobody ever pulled up, all right? Then it just doesn't happen. Our lifestyle, eating to live, eating one meal a day. Do I eat one meal a day? Let's go on to the next question. But it's the diet that distinguishes us from a lot of brothers and sisters, and also disaster preparedness. If you look at what's happening in the news today, family, you know something's up. All right, Black people, we always know, man, something about to go down. So, and if that's the case, learn how to prepare. Learn what to store in your house. Learn how to defend yourself if you are storing something in your house and somebody wants to come and get it. All right, so show up at the Doug. This is no cost. It's the brothers and sisters from Muhammad's Mosque number 91, doing what we do and doing what we do best. So, Jody, I think that I've covered, and we hopefully next week, we're going to have two of the organizers of this, Brother Greg, Brother Harold, Brother Greg Muhammad, and Brother Harold X. Hopefully we'll get them to come in and talk about what inspired them to do this, how did they start organizing it, and just how the ball is rolling on that. So, Jody, I think that's all I've got. And
I have about 34 events and 22 coming up, so I'm gonna have to try and micro machine guy stuff to let everybody know the stuff that's going on. All right, everybody, I'm gonna start off by saying Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, future mothers, current mothers. If you're missing your mother, for everybody that got to celebrate Sunday, if you got a chance to call or not call, or I hope you did, for those of us that are without our mom or have missed our parents due to suicide, murder, death, anything like that, I hope you appreciate yours. So since the last episode was Tuesday, April 29th, there has been a myriad of things going on. I'm going to go kind of super fast with this. This is like 34, 40 things. And then we have about 22 things coming up this week alone.
Oh, that's a lot. But all right, go
next
ahead.
week
Go ahead.
event. Starting off, we had the recognition ceremony at the Toledo Zoo at 2 Hippo Way. That was Thursday, May 1st. On Friday, May 2nd, which is something I always volunteer for, we had the Mix 2025 that was downtown at Madhouse Creative. Shout out to everybody that came out, all the artists, the creators, inside and outside. It was an awesome event. We had food trucks, and inside Madhouse Creatives, there were 3 different levels where you could see people creating stuff, people gifting stuff. It was a very good event. Shout out to Swell Magazine, which is something I always forget to do, talk about the description of the chains and the tattoos and the hairs and all of that stuff. But the mix was awesome. I think we are not doing Momentum this year. It's going to be an automatic, which is going to be in like September or November. So if you were looking for Momentum this summer, unfortunately, but there are many other art galleries, studios, and everything like that in Toledo to help out your creative needs. Saturday, May 3rd, we had Zenadere with T-Set, Acid Youth, and Open Door at 308 Main. That's Frankie's. If you don't know where it is, it's from Toledo. Awesome shout out. Zenadere is now added to the staff that travels around the world, which you can't really see. You can see it in the background a little bit right there. But shout out to him. Saturday, also May 3rd, we had the Artoon Network, the Cartoon Art Show at Sophia Cantera Cultural Arts Center. Going up into, because some of this other stuff is just like small business resource fairs. Michigan, I get stuff from all around the world, but I try and keep it local just to make sure you guys know what's going on. Friday, May 9th, we had Exposed Youth Homelessness, the book signing for Fonda Roster, which was also one of the libraries at the Human Library, which I'll be slowly working my way into that. But that was awesome for Friday, May 9th. That was held at Toledo Truth, which was also the same place for the fundraiser for Brittany Jones. It's art gallery, it's newspaper. There's a whole bunch of things that you can check it out. They always got stuff going there, painting and events like that. Friday, May 9th, there was a pizza and paint at Toledo Commons, 1447 North Summit. Saturday, May 10th, there was the Human Library, which is a project basically started, I want to say it was 4 years ago, and I had the honor of going to the first one. The other couple, I was either out of the country or performing, but this year I got to be one of the living books. We had over 20 people come and sign up to be books. Basically, the experience is you come to the library and you get about 15 minutes to sit across from a person and ask them about themselves. So instead of, you getting a book and stuff at the library, you get a person and you get to talk to them, their experiences, their life. I loved all of my guests. All of my guests either got a magazine, a paper, a crystal, or something like that for me. But all of the other creatives around, it was interesting coming in because some people had their tables. Some people had like everything on their table to discuss little parts about them. So shout out to the library, Owens Community College, the Human Relations Commission, City of Toledo, and I think there was another person, but shout out to them for hosting that.
That was dope.
Moving a little bit forward, upwards. We had candles and mimosa at the Truth Art Gallery. See, I was talking about the Truth Art Gallery and all that stuff going on. Also, Saturday, May 10th, there was the Toledo Museum of Art Poetry Prize Award Ceremony and Recognition. I've yet to make one of those. Maybe next year, though. This year, I'm currently, if you've been following my page, writing my 23rd book. I'm about one more day away. I just finished and capped off the 100th page for the second chapter. So tomorrow, I'll be finishing chapter 3 and then sending it off, because the release date will be the 18th for Catfest, which I'll talk about in just a moment as I'm working my way up there. Saturday, May 10th, we also had uncloistered poetry. That was at the Attic. Sometimes we switch locations to the Peacock, but shout out to Joni. Shout out to all of the features. Shout out to all of the open mics that came. That was my first time performing this month. We got 2 more times this week alone, just to let everybody know, if you want to get into the open mic scene or poetry or stuff like that, holler at me, inbox me. I may not get back to you for a couple of days, but if you look on my page, if there's something going on in the city, I will always let you know. Sunday, May 11th, there was Jazz and Jokes Mother's Day event. That was at the Toledo Funny Bone. That was with Cool Keys, one of the saxophone people, I can't remember all of them, Nate Hicks and Michelle Williams. So that they were some of the people that I did the African American Festival down at the Huntington Center with. So from the video I saw, that was awesome. Uncloistered Poetry Online was May 11th. Manifest and Melt Workshop, that was at 151 North Michigan. That was Monday. And then also we have a on The Voice, if anybody's been paying attention to The Voice.
I've been paying attention.
So Elena Hicks, I think they're calling her something on the show, because I believe she's engaged or something like that. I don't follow people too much, but I see you when you come in my timeline. But shout out to her. Hopefully she takes the whole show. I'm not sure. You might still be able to vote. I did put it up on our page and my page. So shout out to Toledo. We might be bringing a whole trophy home, and I hope that we do, because that would just be some good stuff for us. And then coming up this week, of course, we already talked about Blair Johnson. He has his fundraiser tomorrow at the Peacock. So if you can, make sure you show up as a friend or anything like that. We also have tomorrow coming up is the Respect the Mic. So again, open mics, stuff like that.
That's right.
If you want to come, you can go to Blair's at 6 o'clock, the open mic. The mic is live. I believe the last update was 8 o'clock. And there's also a painting experience. So if you don't want to get on the open mic, you can pay $5 and you'll get a canvas and be able to listen to poetry and everything. That is at the Cold Bar and Grill on the east side. If you don't know where that's at, just look it up. We're right across from the Dollar General, and it's a dialysis place that's over there. So hope to see you out. Thursday, May 15th at 6 o'clock, there is the Smoking Bill, the Black Contractors Edition, 2114 West Alexis Road. I hope to see you out there this Thursday. Also, there's the Artist Reception, The Art of Upcycling by Jeff Schofield. Hopefully I said that right. That's 909 Jefferson. That's at 6 o'clock. Friday is, that's already coming up. I might miss it too. Friday, May 16th through the 18th is Toledo Tattoo Fest. That's at Glass City Center. I'm going to try and pop in, maybe get a little more ink done. My arm's just looking a little bare. And this Friday is the Rush in the Building. There's a music event at the Toledo Museum of Art. So, and this Friday, there is Friday Night Live. So if you do want open mics, there's a second open mic. It's 252 Ottawa Street, right under the high level bridge behind, what is that? Miami Bay Brewing Company. That is an open mic we started up at the beginning of the year. Also this Friday, last thing until we come back, is the Strictly R&B at 2 Hippo Way. I just seen the post from Tracy. It is sold out. So if you got your tickets, make sure you show up to the Strictly R&B event held at the not the museum. I don't want to say museum, library, at the zoo, Toledo Zoo. Okay, and that is some of the things. One more last thing I have to mention, because I didn't mention, I wouldn't be here in the first place. So 10 years ago, I was challenged to write a book. That book took me 2 weeks. It was for an event called Catfest, which we held downtown, which is why I'm making sure that my release date is on the 18th. So I'll be completing that whole 10-year cycle and stuff like that. Already I'm 115 pages in, hopefully maybe 130 by the end of tonight. But if you can make it, it's going to be at Wheeling on the Rocks. I can get you the address.
Yeah, where's that at?
That is 2640 West Lasky Road. Shout out to D Brown. It was just an idea that was started 10 years ago. Artists and stuff came together to talk about domestic violence and suicide prevention and all that stuff. And 10 years later, here I am, 23 books, artwork, movies, and doing stuff at the library, museum, and everything like that. So I hope to see you out this Sunday at 1 o'clock. It's going all day. Also, I'll be at the garden bouncing around from there.
All right. Okay.
So I'll be at several locations. If you catch me out and get my photo, I'm still in it if you post it. And I never take selfies no more. I just don't have no time. And Sunday at 4 p.m. is the monthly meeting for the entrepreneurs. If you're an entrepreneur and stuff and you're a part of the group, we have our meeting this Sunday at Respect Your Crown.
All right. Hey, let's pay some bills and come back with 5 minutes of heat.
Yep.
Family, if you like what we do, we want you to subscribe, like, and share, and comment. We'd like you to like our Facebook page and subscribe to it. Not a Facebook page, our YouTube. That way, once we get 100,000 subscribers, we get that.
This little plaque, and we can
That's
do
right.
stuff and say that people don't got as many views as us now.
All right. Okay. Well, I think everybody got more views than us. All right. Well, anyway, hey, if you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, listen to us on Spotify if you're driving. Follow us on YouTube and X, formerly known as Twitter. As soon as Jody decides, hey, look, he's getting right back into the X, formerly known as Twitter game.
Never.
Okay, all right. If you want to support us via Cash App. That's the cash tag CSRN Toledo 419. PayPal is CSRN 419. We have our Black Lives Matter signs. We have our Defund Toledo Police, defund12.org/Toledo. Support. And big shout out to Toledo for supporting us these last 10 years and going on 11 years. We have been independently supported. So we don't
Community support.
Yeah, so we definitely unbossed and unbought. We don't have to say anything in order for us to be here.
About losing grants or
Right.
opinion.
That's
We're
right.
already unpopular.
That's right. Hey, listen, Jody, it is, man, we're 7:23.
We'll do a full show this time.
Oh, that's what's up. Hey, listen, we want to get into what we call 5 minutes of heat. What is 5 minutes of heat? It's the way we close out not only our in-person meeting, but also our podcast in 5 minutes of heat. That comes from the old Houdini song, 5 Minutes of Funk. We took that, we probably remixed almost everything that we've got. All right, remixed, and we call it 5 minutes of heat. 5 minutes of heat. Instead of closing out with a gavel or somebody saying it's adjourned, we use creative expression. Jody has been our resident 5 minutes of heat person for the last 10 years, going on 11. We almost got Celine to drop some song.
I'll go get some people in here.
All right. Okay. All right. So what do you got for us today?
I actually got a few. And one last thing, I want to thank you to the Lucas County Public Library. Last month, they had me host a poetry class for the kids, and I got all the stickers from the posters that we did in 2020 to get kids to read. And I got a handful of them now, but it was a very awesome experience. The check came the day before I did the human library, so I know it's good.
Okay. They did not ask me. Okay. All right, library.
I'm also looking forward to, I got one more person to check, but to have my official book signing since 10 years ago. This is where I wrote my first book. But there has always been the thing that you can't sell books while you're there because you can't take donations.
That's right. Stuff. That's right.
So if that is fixed, then I will be doing my book signing this year at the library. If not, we'll start pitching it to other people. But for today's 5 minutes of heat, because we know National Poetry Month, I wrote like 30, 40, 50 poems. Brother Washington is going to pick between these titles.
All right, let's go.
YN. Subscribe.
Okay.
Sin. Unanswered questions, or grief.
You know, whenever I hear those two letters, YN, I start to think about myself as, young and nurturing. I think about that. So I think about whenever I hear the word YN, all right, and they're pointing at me, I know they say young and nurturing, all right? So let's go with YN.
Okay. And this was a popular one. Again, it was just, I put the title there and people was like, I didn't even explain it, but the poem explains it. So for all of you out there that are thinking about writing a book, are thinking about performing, are thinking about just doing something creative, do it.
That's right.
My longevity and the reason why I get to travel the world, because I wasn't trying to be perfect. I wasn't educationally or taught by some museum that told me art looked this way. My art looks the way it does because I'm not following the rules. I'm following what my art wants to be.
Okay.
So let's begin. Peace. I end. Once I learned that there was nothing for me out there in the streets but beef, baddies with no goals, blocks for street credit that you'll never own, dealers using their own supplies, re-ups with no investments, STDs with no accountability, clout chasers living in public housing, scammers hoping not to get caught, flashing money with more debt than you'll ever make, charges that won't come off when you're old and gray, ops around every corner, bullets with no names, up until you're down bad, mugshots instead of portfolios, street cred with no credit, people with a hand out but never trying to lift a hand up, rental cars so you look like you're balling, leased property on contract with no renewal, predators that claim they love the kids, OGs with detectives on speed dial, making moves but you got an ankle monitor on, strip club money but no bank account, riding dirty in somebody else's name, latest fashion but no business sense, and crash outs with no insurance or health care. I started writing books. Best 10 years of my life, and I ain't looked over my shoulder in at least 7. In peace.
And as always, we snap our fingers. All right, big shout out to also Junction Family Pharmacy. Dr. Patton really doing a great job out there. Yep. Hey, Jody. Hey, listen, we're due back next week, right?
Due back next week.
All right. Hey, listen, as always, all lives can't matter until Black Lives Matter. And Black lives can't matter until all Black lives matter. Justice or else?
Yeah.
Peace.